Are there any particular skill sets that companies are now looking for? And then as a follow-up to that, has the skill set changed over the last few years?
Well, well, yes and no. I mean, certainly even without the pandemic, things are always evolving in our industry. There's certainly some real high demand areas. And again, like, as I mentioned, the pandemic really kind of accelerated the whole digital situation too. I mean, even before the pandemic, the digital space in pharma has been growing and becoming a much bigger high demand area. There's a lot more technology out there digitally, so that certainly is a big growing area in the industry, whether there was a pandemic or not. I mean, the pandemic just really kind of accelerated that. I see a lot more roles for digital marketing people and digital sales people at all levels. So, virtual sales reps. So that's a big area that's grown. But, even without the pandemic, there's some pretty hot areas within the pharma industry that are always in super demand. For example, medical, right? I think we talked about this the last time we spoke. There's a role called medical science liaison, which is basically pre-marketing work where new molecules are coming to market, and it's the job of somebody with a PhD or a PharmD or a medical doctor to interact with physicians and bring awareness of clinical studies and things that are coming to market so they can be prepared for these new launches that really of novel sort of medicines that will change like the quality of life for people. So the MSL role is this really big role, and anything that has to do with market access. And by market access, what I mean is getting funding. A pharmaceutical company in Canada, especially because of our socialized medical system, needs the government to be able to provide funding for their medicines in order to be successful, or to get a third-party insurer to basically put it on their formulary that the government would pay for that or whatnot. So anything that has to do with market access, and that could be government affairs, health economics, that is a really big area as well. And still, I talked about maybe there's been a reduction in sort of some salespeople and some downsizing, but there's always a need for key account managers who are working with some really special new novel medicines, oncology, rare disease, gene therapy. So these are still in high demand. The primary care reps, who call on the GPs, like there was a time there was a zillion of them running around, running into all of the offices. I mean, that model's kind of changed a little bit. So I would say medical, specialty sales, anything that has to do with market access, these are super high demand areas. And again, virtual is really coming on strong. And I mean, of course, AI is a really neat new emerging sector as well that everyone should keep an eye on, because I think that's kind of the future as well.